90% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
Saying this, and I mean it. There's a way to, how do I do this? There's an algorithm.
Yep.
There's a way to jigger the algorithm a little bit and come out and say, when things are going good, like, I think the Dolphins are a team to watch, and here's why. And a Dolphins fan base that hasn't had national media love, they'll cling to that and say, yes, tell us, please, person on television, tell us why we're so good. That was the case all season. You know, the Tyreek MVP talk, the Tua MVP talk, Dolphins #1 seed, Dolphins unbeatable, the McDaniel love, and everyone in our world was on this Dolphins bandwagon of sorts. That bandwagon's empty right now.
Yeah.
Quiet.
A dust ball just blew through the alleyway of that bandwagon, and you're looking up and down the aisles, and there's no one there anymore. And to Dolphins fans watching, I would say this: good. You don't want Johnny come lately. You want it to be you guys, the ones who have been there through all the bad times, through all the losing seasons. And I almost think the Dolphins team needs to look at each other and say the same thing and say, we've got nothing to lose. There are no expectations. Everyone is pointing to the injuries. Everyone's looking at us going into Arrowhead. Everyone is saying that we don't have a shot. So what can we do to limit Mahomes and find a way to sneak one out of this thing in Kansas City? And to me, it's not the passing game, and it's not just relying on Tyreek. It's the running game. I watched this Buffalo game, and in the first half, I thought McDaniel was on fire with the play calls. They were doing all sorts of misdirections, sweeps, tosses, and Buffalo couldn't stop it. Yeah, Josh Allen threw a couple turnovers in the red zone. Miami capitalized. They ran the ball. They controlled the clock. It felt like Buffalo wasn't even on the field. Achane running up and down. Wilson doing his thing. They were blocking despite injuries all over the offensive line, injuries all over the field. And they had this touchdown. You're like, this is what they got. Look at what happened here. Now, I understand it's all about circumstance, and there's a game script to start the thing, and then it goes off the rails. It's no coincidence the game got out of their hands, they lost, and Josh Allen found a way to get this thing done.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. The media got the last laugh for sure, but for now, they have been proven right at this time. But the Dolphins are not what they thought they were. Fans are turning on Tua, fans are turning on McDaniel. The Dolphins are still alive, and they have at least one more chance to try to change the narrative. Tua and McDaniel have a lot to prove. We go there. Welcome to our feature segment for the week. There's no tomorrow. Co-host Steve Hallett with the Fins TV crew of Matt Armstrong, the controversial Eddie Chaput. I'm your host, Sammy. The Dolphins led most of the year to the division. They had a chance to win the AFC East Championship, but they fell short. Lots of fans turning on Tua, asking for a trade for every name in the book. Some are saying that the Dolphins should go get Jim Harbaugh. They should change coaches. They should fire Chris Grier. They have, is Chris Grier's fault because they have, the bench, the depth was not enough. After the after the injury report had 18 names last week, that is because he didn't have enough depth. But I digress. Some fans truly believe that there's no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow because the day is today. The day is this Sunday. The Dolphins have one more chance to change the narrative. The Dolphins have one more chance to win on Saturday night. It's not impossible. They've done a lot of weird things that happened throughout the year, so it's not something impossible. I want to start with Steve. I want to know your thoughts about everything that's going on, but how the fan base has turned on Tua, has turned on McDaniel, has turned on Grier, and certainly they feel like, everything is going to hell right now.
It feels like it's going to hell because we're on the outside looking in. We're not in the inside. We're not on the team. We're not in the organization. And I know that, you're always really, really good with these feature segment tags and everything, but there is a tomorrow. I want you to go into that organization and look at them and ask them, is there a tomorrow for you? Why even show up if you don't think that there's a chance to play in Kansas City and win that game? You tell the guys that have been there since April, since mini camps, grinding, doing everything they possibly can to get themselves ready for this moment, that there is no tomorrow. Now, I'm really truly of the belief that the Dolphins don't have anything to prove anymore. To the point about bandwagons and that type of stuff, we know that the bandwagon fills up a lot more slowly than the hate train. The hate train fills up immediately as soon as a bad moment hits, as soon as a game comes along that it doesn't go the way that the media has really, really built it up to be, and they've got everybody in their corner and everything. They drop off, they start slamming us, and then here comes all the cockroaches out of the weeds into social media circles, and they can't wait to get on X or Twitter or Facebook or something like that and absolutely destroy the team because, haha, I told you so. That's the hate train, and it fills up very, very quickly. But I really, truly believe that this team has nothing to prove to us anymore. They have something to prove to each other. They have something to prove that this is why we've been doing this. They are a team that, I know injuries are part of the game, but man, we are a team. The Dolphins, they are a team that is absolutely decimated by injuries. They've been grinding all season long for a reason, and they have an opportunity here to show what it's all about. And when they've left it, hopefully they've left absolutely, if it's a defeat, hopefully they've left absolutely everything they possibly could on the field to know that they can wake up the next day and say, man, I regret not doing that better. Man, I regret not going 110% on that route or trying to make that tackle or something like that, because that's the regret is the worst type of thing like that. But I really, truly think that the team as a whole doesn't have much to prove. Coach McDaniel, yeah, he's got some things that he's got to clean up. Tua, hopefully he comes back and this is his redemption game for that dreadful, last drive against the Chiefs in Germany. But everybody can turn their backs. We're going to tune in. We're going to watch. We're going to support. A lot of people are going to brave that freezing cold up there, traveling to the game. And I hope for their sake that they at least go up, show up, put up a very good product. They don't have anything to prove to me anymore. I'm happy with what they've done this year.
That's a great way to put it. Matt, one of your thoughts about how everybody's turning on to McDaniel and Grier. There's no tomorrow. We talked about that before. How the sky is the sky is falling. That kind of falling theory. But right now, everybody's turning to. Again, to be fair, it's fair to be disappointed. It's fair to be mad. I get mad too at the team during the game. I sometimes get mad after the game. It's to criticize, okay, but it's like Steve said, there are some people just waiting for that moment to say, "Ha! I told you so." See, there's two. I didn't. You cannot pay him 50 million. They're just waiting. There's something that I just can't understand. Why are you a team or so-called team of? They must be fair with the fans, Matt. I don't get it.
Well, first and foremost, if you were to go into that locker room tomorrow, um, you wouldn't hear one player stressing over what the media says about them. They might clown them. There's plenty of clowns in the media, and seeing what we see on Hard Knocks, it looks like a fun bunch. I can easily see Christian Wilkins having an opinion about any one of these clowns and what they say, and what Traeger said about the bandwagon being dusty. Good. Those of us that have been here from day one, that's who I want to ride with. I've seen those tweets, and I've read the fire everybody. Congratulations, you've watched football for 2 years now. You're an expert at it. Get rid of Grier. They should have signed this person. Congratulations. The trophy you won in Madden really translates over here into the real world. I don't care about those people. They don't matter to me, because I don't think they're real fans. I see it in Steve's uh, his frustration when he expresses it, whether it's on Twitter or when we're communicating, and I see it in Eddie too. but I also know you guys are real fans. I also know you guys know what the hell you're talking about. And I'm going to be blunt. And yes, it's a family show, but if you think it for 1 second that getting rid of McDaniel, Grier, or Tua is the answer, please switch teams. Please pick any of the other 20, however many teams there are, 31 teams. Nope, sorry, there's 30 teams.
That was 32.
No,
I know what he said.
don't
He
count.
goes, Sammy.
Jets do not
15,
count.
15 stadium. Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I had to get my dig in.
Very good one. Very good one.
Go pick one of those teams, man. The Steelers have like 6 Super Bowls. Go cheer for them. That's a great program right there. The Patriots are never going to see what they've had over the last 20 years. Go join their bandwagon. I don't care about those people. I don't give a rat's ass about them. McDaniel undid everything that Flores did. Tua is not the same guy he was a year ago. Oh, by the way, how many games did Tua play this year? I don't have 17 fingers, but that's how many games he played. Oh, by the way, he's going to play an 18th, haters. Congratulations. I don't care about those people. I care about those that are cheering for the Dolphins to win against the odds. All of the injuries that they have sustained, it's just mind blowing. The Sunday night, it seemed like it was every other play, if not every play, there was another guy down. You know what? I'm going to ride with those guys. A year ago, they didn't give us any chance, and we nearly pulled it off with Skylar Thompson. Let's go, man. Let's go to Kansas City and play for each other. They don't care about what Stephen A. Smith said about them peeing the bed. They don't care about that Kyle guy who used to be on General Hospital. Steve, you used to watch him on there. He used to be on there,
Again.
and what that clown says about his favorite teams. They don't care about that. They play for each other, and we know this because we see that every Tuesday on Hard Knocks. If I was the Kansas City Chiefs and if I was a Chiefs fan, I'd be a little bit worried. Corner dogs bite.
Absolutely. It's fair to criticize Tua. It's fair to criticize McDaniel. It's fair to criticize Stephen Ross and Chris Grier and everybody. That's fair. Uh, I have no problems with anyone who say I'm tired about defending Tua. I expected more and I'm disappointed. I'm mad. That's okay. My problem, I'm talking for everyone else. My problem, Sammy's problem, is with the fact that those fans, so-called fans, that are just waiting for that moment to say, to bash Tua, to bash McDaniel, to bash the team, and say, "I told you so." That's my problem with them. Those are fair weather fans. Those are guys who's never been to a game, or probably haven't been to a game in the last 10 years. Our casual fans, they watch, they retweet, they criticize, but they don't go to what most fans do. And I don't say I'm a bigger fan than them. They're fair to be a fan any way you want to. But the problem is that when you get to that point, to be a hater, to criticize, and I'm not gonna get even to the Barry Cunninghams of the world, the Philly teeth, whatever the crap talk that he is. They just live about bashing people. That's all they do. They live on the negative. I truly have a really big with those people because they're making money off of that. They're making money of bashing the team. They're making money of bashing Tua every single day on negativity. I truly, personally, I'm not speaking for Steve, for Eddie, or for Matt. I'm speaking about myself. I truly have a problem with that. And I know we're a small podcast where they have thousands and thousands on negativity. I will never be like that. Well, I'm sure you guys will never be like that. I'm the one who has a
Absolutely.
problem. But I want to, sorry about the rant, but I want to know to Eddie. I know you're frustrated. You were frustrated during the game. It's 100% fair. I was frustrated too, but I want to know your thoughts about the complete extreme negativity that some fans truly have.
Okay. There's a difference between me being frustrated, Steve, you, Matt, than somebody that looks for that team to lose so they can be happy. I don't think there's another team in this league that has more fans that want the Dolphins to lose so they can go out there and be
And their
happy.
fan base, yes. Mhm.
It makes no sense to me. My dad says all the time it's because even though we're from New York, he said it's all the people that came down here from up north and live down here now. They still secretly love that organization that's not a professional football team, or they like the Giants, and they root for Miami when they're good or whatever, but they want to bash them every chance they get. All right, now to some of your points. Chris Grier, has there been a bigger critic of his than me, Sammy, over the
I know.
first couple of years? No,
We
hasn't. But
we talked about it before.
this year and last year, I couldn't ask for more from him. What he's done with draft picks, what he's done with depth on this team. Do you think any other team could have put together a run like this with the amount of injuries that they had? Fangio was asked today about injuries and Slow Mar. I'm going to go back to calling him Slow Mar Kelly again because now he pissed me off again. Oh, every team's injured. Oh yeah, well, no, not like this. Fangio said he's been a coach. I don't know how many years. He's never been around a team that has been this many guys out at one time. He's never. The defensive ends had to introduce themselves yesterday to each other. The defensive end or linebacker, I guess they're considered linebackers. He came in and wrote 263 on the board. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. That's the amount of sacks them four guys have in their NFL careers together. Ingram, Houston, Irvin, Ogba. Ogba looked at Ingram and goes, "How the hell did I become the youngest guy on this team? Youngest guy in this room?" So Chris Greer has done an outstanding job. I am off to get rid of Chris Greer bandwagon. Yeah, he could have went and got a running back. He could have went and got a tight end. Maybe that's not what McDaniel wants. I don't know. So that's not in my thing. As for firing McDaniel, you got to be a freaking moron. What he's had come in and do and undo, excuse me, from that idiot we had before, who was not a coach. He was, I think, Mussolini in training.
A
The way
better way.
the way he wanted to control everything, um, and put down players. He tried to ruin. Well, he got rid of Fitzpatrick. He look what he did to Austin Jackson. We all know what he did to Tua. So McDaniel had to fix all that. He's in his second year as a coach. Can he improve? Of course he can improve. Will he? The man is as smart as they come. I believe he'll improve.
And he matured too, so that's going
He's
to
better
happen.
than last year. He's way better than last year.
Hmm.
Tua, I don't know. I love that kid so much. I want him to do so well, but I just don't want to get stuck in the 7 years of
Say
defending
it. Say
seven
it.
years of defending him like I did Tannehill, because I did. I defended Tannehill till he was kicked out the door to Tennessee. I just want Tua to succeed. I want a quarterback that's going to carry the team on his back when they need him, because sometimes you need that quarterback. The rest of the team can play like crap, but the quarterback at the end can come down there and win a game. That's what I want from him. He's still young. He's still learning the thing. Just before they sign him to that big deal, they better make sure he is the right guy for the system, for this team. That's my biggest thing with Tua. I think he can make throws no other quarterback can make. He can drop them in like no other quarterback can. He's accurate. He's not good outside that pocket. He cannot scramble for yardage when you need him to. And he makes some boneheaded throws sometimes because I think he trusts in his receivers a little too much. That's my only problem with Tua. They got to make sure. I don't want Tannehill 2.0. That's all. And
See,
I'm not saying that he's going to be. I just want to make sure they're in the right direction.
on that point, I want to ask you two questions, guys. One, has Tua already been better than Tannehill ever was. Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
I say yes.
Yes.
I don't think there's any. It's irrefutable.
Hmm.
He's absolutely been better than Tannehill ever was in his time, and I'm a Tannehill fan. Eddie, you have a comrade in arms here. Every year I defended Tannehill, even his injury year. When he comes back, he's you know he's
There you go.
yeah.
It's not a Waddle jersey.
I I think that it is irrefutable that Tua is a better quarterback today than Tannehill ever was in his career.
How about you, Eddie? Do you think that Tua is better right now than Tannehill ever was?
This year, yeah, definitely better than any season Tannehill played.
And
Now, now if I the only thing I don't know is Tannehill went through 87 coaches, 87 offensive coordinators. His best receiver was, I think, Mike Wallace, and
Yeah,
the offensive line got him killed.
hmm
So I don't know him with McDaniel. Maybe he would have been better, but I can't do what ifs. Yes, Tua is better than Tannehill ever was on the Miami Dolphins.
And the second question is, do you guys believe that Tua is better this year than last year?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
He had
Hands
a better
down.
passer rating. He had a better
1,000%.
passer
Well,
rating last year, but is he better this year than last
I
year?
and you perfect segue into one of my comments because Eddie said something. I wrote down a note, and I saw. I think if you're active on Twitter, you see Tua's personal trainer active all the time, and he he in response to somebody else who was talking about Tua this year and doing some different things, making some strides, and his reply was simply, "You made a good point." In he put in quotes this year. If you look at, and I don't watch other teams' social medias, I don't follow Justin Herbert, I don't follow any of the other quarterbacks. We have no choice but to watch the evolution of Aaron Rodgers or de-evolution of Aaron Rodgers into the movie of Idiocracy. But the work he put in, it is irrefutable that
Oh
the
yes.
work that he put in resonated and translated onto the field this year. You can see it. I do believe he's probably lost a little bit of that. He's maybe gone back to some of his old habits, but hands down, there is no question about it that he is better this year than he was last year, and that is a direct result of the work that he put in. And to his personal trainer's point, they already know what they're planning on working on. The second that they're done playing this year, they're going to go back into the lab and start working on, okay, that foundation level is built. Now let's build the next one and drill that in until it becomes muscle memory.
if I can go back to the Tannehill comment, there's only one place that I would say Tannehill was ever better than Tua, and that is, I don't know if you guys know this, but Tannehill used to be a wide receiver,
That's
and
news.
I can guarantee you that Tannehill was faster at scrambling than Tua will ever be. Um, I can I can crawl faster than Tua can when he scrambled the other night off to the left.
That
I
that weight
really
gain that weight gain is noticeable. He
it
gained
really
weight
is,
to get stronger, and he's just
and I'm
noticeable.
thankful that he put that
I
weight
think
on.
Eddie said that during the season.
I'm positive that that is one of the things that's helped him so much with helping him stay healthy, taking shots. You know,
Hmm.
but there's no doubt he's slower than Christmas right now, and maybe that's one of the things they work on when they go back into the lab after they win the Super Bowl. Is they work on his quickness, his agility, his speed. Honestly, I think that's probably his number one weakness, physical weakness.
And taking hits. My God, nobody ever got back up from taking a hell of a shot better than
That's a great
Tannehill.
point. Steve, I know you know the play, and Eddie and Sammy, you probably do too. But there's a play where
Kenny Stills.
Tannehill took a shot as he let the ball go. It's never been a more perfect pass ever in the
Chargers.
history of the NFL. and he planted it right in his was it
Kenny Stills.
It was Stills.
Against the Chargers, I believe.
Yeah.
That's one of those plays that should be memorialized in like the pregame of CBS or NBC or something. It's just Tannehill had talent.
Absolutely. I'm showing some stats on Tua. Certainly, there's a difference between last season and this season. I'm looking for a stat that said about the time that Tua is throwing the ball. I can't find it right now, but still, I think that has to be taken under consideration. We have we've been worried about Tua making that second read. If he's throwing the ball so fast, how much time do you truly have to make that second and third read? You guys, essentially, Eddie, know more than a lot more football than I do, but that's something that worries me. He's throwing the ball so fast, not to get hurt. How much time do he truly has to make that second read, to make that third read? Or he has to just go to the timing offense. The goal's supposed to go there, so snap and go.
Now, I was on him earlier, so now I'm going to give him some credit right now because that's how I am. He makes that offensive line look really good by the way he gets rid of a football.
Yes.
And most of the time, I think he ended up with, you guys want to help me, 12 interceptions?
I think
maybe.
So
he gets rid of the ball. It's always better to throw an incompletion than take a sack or an interception, of course. He makes that, especially when everybody was out, when Lamb was playing, Keon Smith, Cotton. He still wasn't getting sacked. I think one game they sacked him 5 times. That was an anomaly, but that was it. He makes the offensive line look good. So that's a very good point, Sammy. He might not be able to make that second read right now because they need to have stability on that offensive line. And I tell you one guy they better resign. That's Austin Jackson, because that's a man, right?
They did.
Oh, that's right. They did. Thank God. Thanks, guys. He has turned into one hell of a right tackle. He on them running plays, he was destroying people down the field, and I love it. It was so good to have Hunt back. God bless him. Eichenberg has done a decent job at center. Even though the worm burner back to him in the end zone scared the crap out of me, Tua still made a nice pass.
It's almost as if these guys need a chance to do their job.
Yeah.
And I say it to the point where I get tired of saying it on Twitter. You know, it's real easy to, because we're microwave society, it's real easy to, get rid of him. He sucks. Yeah, he's been playing that position for 3 snaps. He didn't go into this game having practiced this position. Obviously, I'm talking about Eichenberg. Austin Jackson was 21 years old, I think, when he was drafted. And didn't he give a kidney to his sister, his twin sister?
Bone marrow.
Bone marrow.
Where he missed the whole season.
Yeah. There's factors that come into play with this stuff. And Eddie, I'm really glad to hear you bring up Austin Jackson, because I don't know why. I think I just kind of like, leave that guy alone, man. Let's see if he can actually play. The offensive line has absolutely benefited from a quarterback who has a lightning release and the ability to process what's in front of him. Does that sound like anybody else that we're familiar with? Marino was famous for his lightning release. Marino went a season without getting sacked. Not a whole season, but through the course of games over 2 seasons, it equated more than a season to his getting sacked. But that lightning release makes all the difference in the world when those guys are trying to hold back the wall coming at them.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned Marino, and that's something I was thinking about. You know what the Marino phrase, pick a guy and let it fly? You can see Tua doing that. You can see Marino.
Oh, you can.
Because that's exactly why I said. I'm looking for for a comment from a resident viewer, Cat for Life. He had a really funny comment. He said, "It's ironic you say that because the only quarter that showed up was Ryan Tannehill this weekend."
He
I thought,
did. He
I thought
showed
that
up.
was
I'm like, what
I
the hell's
thought
he
that
doing?
he helped the Bills get into the playoffs before we even played them. So I
So
thought that was kind of funny.
before we jump, I just want to go back to the thing about fans and everything. And we're not the ones to define who's a fan, how to be a fan, and everything.
Right.
I think there's a unfortunate component to human nature to gravitate towards negativity. And this fan base on the social media platform is absolutely no different than that. But unfortunately, there's just way too many of those fans who I really truly believe want to be out there waving their flags, wearing their stuff and everything when the days are good. But they can't wait to come out and spike that football when they can say, I was right. I told you that Tua couldn't do this. I told you that Grier wasn't picking the right guys when seriously the walls are falling down around our team in terms of injuries, and they just can't wait to do it. And this is why I appreciate in my older age of surrounding myself around people who don't thrive on that negativity. And I'd like to think that that's a difference between us. We want to see and celebrate and accentuate and spike the football when the successes happen. And we grumble, we talk about it pre-production, we talk about it, a little bit, but by the time 2-3 days passes by, we're not still angry and we're not still trying to spike that negative football. And I think that's a big difference. I'm not going to say that they're not fans, that they haven't been fans their entire lives. They just unfortunately have that human nature of wanting to just be right about the negative, that they do it way too often. In the social media world right now, that microwave world that we live in, of everybody being able to congregate immediately and pat each other on the back and get that mob mentality together, they have that platform. And like you said, Matt, earlier, they're not watching it. They're not watching the media. Tua said it himself. He doesn't hear any of it unless his handler tells him about it. They're not watching that stuff, and they're certainly not tuning in to all this stuff. So, that's all I just wanted to talk about.
Absolutely.